And welcome to the unboxing and full review of the Shin Ultraman offering by ThreeZero figure. So this is the 6-inch scale model. So I think ThreeZero also has an incoming uh, bigger scale model. I think that will be like a 12-inch model or bigger model than this one. So that's quite a figure to uh, be excited for. So this is in the front of the package. So we see Shin Ultraman. I think this is a actual picture of the an actual picture of the figure itself inside. So this is and this is the katakana characters for Shin Urotoraman is in here. So one other Japanese inscriptions over at the front. You see ThreeZero's logo here and Fig Zero S 6-inch Ultraman showed Ultraman. So I do not know what this silhouette over here is because Ultraman clearly does not have red eyes, but it's a nice addition to this front covering. So at the side you can see like a proof of I think this is what companies use to show that it's an authentic product. So it's similar with Tamashii Nation's sticker. So it's present over here. Also Shin Ultraman, you can see another one here, and same in his Spatium Ray pose over here at the other side. ThreeZero logo. The back you can see his flying pose. It's really nice. And Fig Zero and other legal mumbo jumbo at the back. So this front this box also serves as a nice display package that you can open up with velcros over at the sides to reveal the figure itself at the front, and some the SSSP signage. It's the modern interpretation of the organization's logo up here, SSSP. Other Japanese characters that I can translate for you. Yeah, here's a nice close up view of what to expect inside the figure. Seems a very nice figure. So let's crack this one open off camera. So the figure comes in a clamshell style box. So I've yet to open it, and there's some like paperwork, so some choking hazard paperwork, and I think this is a articulation guide manual. So you can instruction manual, so you can see right here very nice instructions on how to pose and how to articulate Shin Ultraman in his figure form here in ThreeZero. So another paperwork. I think this is for the warranty. Yeah. So let's crack this clamshell style packaging open. So there's no tape spots over securing it, so it's an easy open. So let's get him out of his clamshell prison. There's also a silica gel box, silica gel something that keeps moisture out of the figure. So let's put all of this guys aside, and there's like a plastic protection covering that covers the, I think this is the head, so I think you need to remove the head to remove this. So yeah, there, to remove the plastic. So first-hand impressions of the tactile weight and feel of the Shin Ultraman is very nice. It feels like a SH Figure Arts figure, that's for sure. So it feels like it. So there, I can definitely feel the quality of the materials that were used for this one. So it's a very nice feel to it. So before I'll talk about the uh, review of the entire figure, so I'll have you uh, I'll have you look at Ultraman himself in a more close-up view of the entire figure. Here's his head. And his body. And his legs. So I'll go over aesthetics first before the articulation review. So for the aesthetics, I think this is a better coloration of the Shin Ultraman that we see over at Bandai's offerings like the SH Figures. I think this boasts much more visual flair to it because of its more shiny and chromy silver look to it. So it's a really nice paint job that they've done here in terms of the paint that was used, especially in the silver. So I think in the movie it's a in the movie I think it's a balance between the how chrome this one is and how dull the silver ones in the SH Figures is. So in the actual movie I think that it's a bit of a balance in between the how chrome this one is and how dull the SH Figures is. But I think my vote goes for this one in terms of how visually appealing it is. I'll put it up front for you, and yeah, I think everything is in place here in terms of these sculpts. So there's some nice folds and nice molds out there that outline a slightly humanoid body with some like rib detail over here and stomach detail over here that you can see that I can flash through with the light reflection over it. So I think Shin Ultraman in the movie is depicted not as a human but as like an alien. So it's Shin Ultraman's proportions are definitely much sleeker and alien-like in that movie. So it really reflects upon the figure right here. Yeah, the head sculpt seems to be very accurate to the knee, so I'll put him in a sitting position so that the camera picks up. So the figure much closer. So here's the side sculpt of it. So it's pretty nice, especially these square-like ears. So it's definitely accurate to what we see in the movie. Also, these slightly disproportionate eyes are also nicely rendered up here in the figure. So it's there's slight tweaking in the right eye in respect to the left eye. So that's really good. So for the mouth too, it's an emotionless mouth, but still it conveys like a heroism to it, so it's really nice. Same for the other side of the ear. Yeah, over the body it also carries the accurate lines and silhouette that Shin Ultraman has in terms of his suit in the movie. So it carries over the legs itself. So for the articulation, I'll start with the head. So it seems like to be a regular one that we see in figures. So there's a ball joint up here. Ball joint does what a ball joint does. So there's also as we saw in the unattaching or the removal of the plastic covering. So there's a secondary ball joint up in the base of the neck, so it also moves in conjunction with the head, so it offers a little bit more flexibility in terms of Shin Ultraman's head movement. So his head can rotate all the way and look up, dot match, and look down. that much. So it's a pretty impressive head articulation, and that's in par with like SH Figuarts and other toy lines out there that handle head articulation. So I'm looking at the instruction manual over here, so I can see it side by side. So for the shoulder movement, you can there's an extra butterfly joint over here at both of the arms, so Shin Ultraman can really put his arms forward. It's same with the SH Figuarts one. So the mold and the sculpt continues with that butterfly joint, so that movement will be unencumbered when you're trying to pose Shin Ultraman in more dynamic poses. So the arm also moves, rotates and folds at a 90-degree angle. So both of the I think you have to like push down this secondary elbow joint so that you get the full 90 degrees. So if you don't move it down, so it would get stuck right over here, only form a 45-degree angle. So you have to put it down and like that, so that you can do a T-pose. So for the I'll just cover one side of the arm because it's generally the same with both arms. So it has a double jointed arm over here, so it definitely can handle the 100, almost 180-degree fold with no problems whatsoever. It also has a slight swivel at the elbow part, so it could help some flexibility in some dynamic poses. And for the arms, it also can swivel up and down, and also do what a ball joint does. It's very nice for a wide range of articulation. And for the elbow shoulder joint, I think there's a very limited rotation to it, but it can you can manipulate all these joints up here. I think there's like 1, 2, like 3 joints up in this shoulder part, so that you can manipulate to whatever you want to do and rotate all that. So I think this can pull off whatever pose you put it into. So for the upper torso, it also moves back and forth, and the mold and the sculpting and painting continues inside the torso, so you can manipulate it without the silhouette cutting off. So that's for the, I think this is a ball jointed upper torso, so it can do what a ball joint can do. And I think the lower torso follows that philosophy. You can make Shin Ultraman lean forward like this much without the help of the hip articulation. So yeah, you can move front and at the back like this. So I think the backwards movement is much more extreme rather than the lean forwards. So that's the most you can make out of the lean, and this is the most you can make out of the backwards movement. So for the hip movement, you can also see in the instruction manual over here that you can similar to again SH figures, you can pull down the hip movement, hip right here, so that you can get a more unencumbered movement and rotation over at the leg. But I think there's a slight problem about this in regards to ThreeZero figures, because when I pulled it out of its clamshell prison, it was this left leg was kindly loose, so it kind of flopped right around. But I think this is easily fixed by returning the joint up back up top when you articulate it. But I think if you pull it down, yeah, it's still stable enough. But I don't know where the floppiness was, so I think it's kind of present here too, so it easily moves. So I think that would not be reliable for poses. So I recommend that you must put the hip joint at the topmost and the bottommost point if you want it to be steady, because if you like leave it in a midway through, so it kind of flops around a bit. You can see it. So if I push it up top, it's much more stable, and push it all the way down, it's stable too. But when I push it at the middle of this, so it's kind of flop. It's not floppy, but it's not as stable as the positions that I have demonstrated to you before. So here's the hip movement. So if you here's it, the hip like automatically shifts down when you articulate it far beyond its uh, uh, point. So you can see up right here. So even if I push up I shifted up the hip joint at the topmost, it can go. So if I articulate it right up here, so you can see the hip joint moving down. So if I return it back down, so the hip joint has shifted down to its bottommost point. I think that's a neat feature, but I think SH Figures does it better through when the figure like locks it shot when you shift the hip movement, so it like you can feel a lock into it. So it's it deems much more confidence for the user when that locks in, instead of this like automatically shifts down. So I think it sacrifices some of the stability of the figure. So here's it when you put it up front at its greatest up front. So it like it swivels. Oh, I remove the joint right up there. So the leg like swivels when it does not go like upright. It's straight to the side when you articulate it at the topmost part. So you can see it right there. It doesn't like go to the front, maybe because of this sculpt over and mold over here that it kinda pushes right to the side when you turn the figure up. So that's the most top you can get. And also the knee joint is a double jointed one, so it's almost 108 degree. I would say like 145, 150 degree bend rather than 180. It's a really nice fold up there, so there's no leg swivels whatsoever. And the feet are similar to the hands, wherein it's a ball joint that you can swivel, so you can like, so this is the most extreme swivel that it can handle. Right over here, you can see the swivel right there. So up close you can see that swivel right up like that too, and do what a ball joint can do. And also has the toe articulation, so you can handle most of the poses. So for the accessories, so I'll put Ultraman in a static pose right here at the side. So for the accessories, only greeted with some pairs of hands. So there's a closed fist or a punching hand for both of the sides. There's a karate chop pose. So this also can serve as the spatial ray beam pose hands, and also some wide. It's not that wide open, but a relaxed open hands for some of like static or more relaxed poses. So that's the only inclusions that are present in the box. And I'll switch over to some poses so that you can see some dynamic poses of Shin 3-0 Shin Ultraman.